Well, hello everybody. We're going to have a Sunday night talk. I got to take my girls back to their moms for the week. My time of this week has come to an end. We got lots going on. This video is in response to my video on Pierre Poilievre. Now I'm going to be doing this week. Tomorrow I'm tied up. I'm waiting for Bjorkman to come back from the United States of America. When he does, we're going to shoot a live. We're going to split screen as promised. We're going to go through literally hours of Pierre Poilievre and his whole platform, written platform. The platform that isn't presented to any of you. Now, I've had massive amounts of comments, Facebook Messenger, and even some emails. A lot of folks have kind of fallen off. And I'm going to show you the fruits of work over just a year and a half's time in Toronto. So you see this right here. This is 400 sheets I have of memberships alone. Just 400 sheets, Elections Canada. That's how many people have registered for the party, PCC, Party of the Canadian Constitutionalists. I got more here. I can't show everybody's information, but they're all filled out, absolutely, and I don't want to get in trouble for that. But there's another 200 there. In fact, we can keep going through. I got another stack here, mass amount here, another there. I got mail-ins from people who went out collecting signatures. Here's one such. Here's another one such right here. Here's another package. This was an Alberta boy who got real busy. Saskatchewan, Alberta, very popular. Then another sheet full right here. In fact, folks, 868 signatures, all in person, most of which I collected myself, not very hard at all. And it was done entirely during COVID lockdown. And here's the problem. It was nearly 900. I've had to go through them painstakingly, pull all the Freedom Convoy people charged criminally and remove them, because that's not going to be the party that we're building. If you want that, PC is for you. Maxime Bernier's People's Party, that's for you. Now, everybody else, I know a lot of people supported the convoy. I know there's a lot of that. I hope I've gotten them all. I kind of doubt I did. I got 32 known. They're removed. And I'm left with 868. Now, legally, I can register this federal party. It's right across Canada. I have every province in Canada. All of them. Which means I will get the same registration as NDP, CPC, and the Liberal Party of Canada. Now, people say to me, why aren't you registering this? Well, I don't want a one-party platform party. That's not what we're doing here. I was very articulate. I've met Maxime Bernier many times. I even debated him live at Alberta's Economic Forum. And, of course, him and a lot couldn't answer any of the questions. So many of you ask me, Dave, who do we vote for? Who else do we vote for? People, this party, this work, look at it. That work is you, not me. You're not voting for me. People say, well, you don't have enough wealth. How are you going to break the system? How are you going to do it? Folks, it's not about breaking the system. It's about you, the people. It's about voting for yourself. That's what the Party of the Canadian Constitutionalists, PCC, is all about. It's about giving the crown to you, breaking it, destroying it into 38 million pieces. All the First Peoples, all Canadians. Do I want to go back across Canada? Yes, I do. Do I need to do that right now? No, I don't. I can register this party tomorrow legally, have it done. Could have had it done about 4 months ago, folks. In fact, even earlier than that. Truth is, probably a year ago, I could have done it. But we hit a wall, a problematic wall, and it's the institutionalization of Canadians. You're always looking for a God, a savior. And for the amount of religious folks I know I got signed up, it's problematic for me, especially a former Catholic, a devout follower of Jesus Christ. That's just me. That's nothing I would push on anybody else. But for religious folks, when you talk like that, and you're going to put your salvation in a savior, your next Messiah, like the very massive liar, Pierre, which I'm going to expose for everybody. I'm going to expose him for everybody. I'm going to do that Canada-wide, just right here on Facebook. We're going to save that. That'll go up on YouTube. That will be one of my presentations. It's lifetime. It'll stay there forever because it's important for people to know. The issue is not who you vote for. The issue is voting for yourself. That's what this party, that's what I've built is. It's not about me being the next greatest Messiah to all of you, because I am no Messiah. I wouldn't even write your Constitution. Doesn't matter how many universities, doesn't matter how many experts I've sat down with, how many monumental amount of high academic institutions I've been through, and I've been through quite a bit. I've got 167 of the world's greatest living legal minds today. And folks, by going with this, in 2025, we're going to release it. Now, I could release it now. Like I said, I don't need much. We already have our party board. I have all those people quietly in place. We have most of our shadow crown, not cabinet. That's the first thing that makes this different than anything ever seen in Canadian history. And further, it's 100% legal. The legal means to destroy the crown. A shadow crown. That's your Governor General. That's the 10 Lieutenant Governors of the province and the 3 territorial commissioners, high commissioners, which are basically Lieutenant Governors. These are crown sworn appointed positions that have to be in place in Canadian law, the highest law of Canada. And any Prime Minister elected federally, folks, this is where you come in. The power of you, because it's not about me. I'm only going to deliver you the vehicle. That's the platform, to give all of you, every man, woman over the age of 18. It's right here in the title, underneath Pierre Poilievre. Who do you vote for? See all those men and women? Man, woman, man, woman, man, woman, man, woman, man, woman. That's you. The power of you in constitutional conventions. What we're going to do is give you crown positions sworn to you for the first time in Canadian history since 1867. That law, that legal system is alive and well today in Canada. It's abused, absolutely. Conservative, Liberal, NDP, PPC, Bloc, Green, Communist. We can go on and on. They are all divine politicians, divine socialists on your backs, your labor, your businesses. They're not for you, not one of them. And I am sorry, folks. I don't know why this isn't in your education system. Well, I shouldn't say that I know why it's not. It's not to be your privy, because you are the slaves. And then there's the savage Indian. This is the design of Canada since 1876, concluded forever and a day till right now, today as I'm giving this video, in July 2022. every day after and forevermore, until you, the people, bring forward a party. And the next window is 2025. I'm taking my time, and I'm going to prove to everybody my oath is not going to be with the crown. It's going to be of the people. I'm going to promise that. And I've got a lot of monumental work to do south across the border. We still have all the First Peoples to get on board. Absolutely all the chiefs and all the First Peoples in every reserve across Canada. Every single people, seated and unseated, Métis, Inuit, doesn't matter. This is what we're doing, folks, and it's all about all of you. All I can do is give you a real party platform that empowers all of you with those crown positions. And listen to me good, because it's backed up 110% in Canadian law. When you elect a prime minister in a minority, doesn't even have to be the majority, it requires about 32% of the electorate, specific electorate in Canada, and you can win Prime Minister of Canada in only a minority. With that huge executive power bestowed upon Prime Minister, you can take over every legislature across Canada. You can take over absolutely the Parliament of Canada. You can take over the Supreme Court of Canada. You can take over every superior court in every province in Canada. You also get the military, you get the police, you get the entire justice system. All sworn and bound to the Prime Minister. Absolutely the entire Senate. Did you all know that? If you didn't, go read your Constitution. This is the legal path forward. We promise to bring forward a crown. Open crown to all of you, sworn to you, the people. Not sworn to me, not sworn to the Canadian first-class politicians. For the first time, they are sworn to you. And guess what, folks? All of those individuals, most of which we have already been vetted, have already sworn their undying allegiance to all of you. Again in the title, man, woman, man, woman, man, woman, all of you over the age of 18. Not 1 ounce of legislation, no Parliament will convene, no legislature across Canada will convene. There's no province to stop this. There's no ministry to come in and shake you down, because the power to legislate will be removed by the Crown positions. Again, sworn to all of you. What happens to every MLA, provincial and territorial? What happens to every MP elected? Well, folks, funny you should say that. If they wish to get a paycheck, they will have to go back to their constituencies, their federal ridings, work together on constitutional conventions. This will happen from the day of election. If we win minority, 30 days. That's the ascension days. 30 days, notice served, all Crown positions fired. That's the power of Prime Minister. And on the day of reading, that's when the Prime Minister and all the new Crown positions make their statement. They will never send a bill, an act, or nothing until all of you, every man and woman over the age of 18, has had constitutional conventions and written a constitution, a brand new constitution for Canada and all the provinces, no matter how many months it takes. That's the power of you, the people. Any real federal leader would be mandating this today. After what we've seen happen to Canada, what we see all over the world, when we watch inflation, housing, economic crisis, crushing the working class, crushing domestic businesses, crushing farmers. We're watching it all over the world. I can show you countries all over the world going through this. All Crown, just like Canada. And just like Canada, we're going to be going through it too. We are going through it. You can all end that. There's 87% of this country that doesn't belong to anybody. It is not the First People's land. That's just a clever narration by the first-class crown politicians in power today. They hold all of that. They have foreign powers come in, exploit all the resources, and hand all of you the bill. They take the revenue from the First Peoples. They hand you, the third-class taxpayer, the bill. Any businesses who don't go along and get along get crushed. They get turned back to third class. Farmers continue to drop at an alarming rate. An alarming rate. This has been going on for decade after decade after decade. You can go back to 1952 and find the truth of this. You can find businesses getting crushed more and more, decade after decade. They're all falling off at the same pace as the farmers. So is the purchasing power of the working class. It's no accident. We're all going down the toilet. You all know it's true. Sure, a few ass kissers are doing okay. Sure, a small percentage, maybe 3 to 9%, are doing okay. But why are they doing okay? Because they embrace the first class. It's a buddy system, a pyramid scheme. And we all know how pyramid schemes end. The answer is not who do you vote for, who's the savior, because it certainly isn't liberal. It certainly isn't conservative. It isn't NDP. It isn't PPC. It isn't Bloc. It isn't Commies, Greens. We can go on and on. There's 13 parties. They all embrace the crown. None of them, and I repeat, none of them want you, the people, registered in any constitution, the highest law of your country. None whatsoever. Read your constitution. None of you exist. Neither do the First Peoples. None of them. They come up with Aboriginal, then it's Indigenous. None of these are legal terms. It's a way of manipulating and screwing you over. They divide you out. They say there's a left and a right spectrum, while the politicians get more stronger. Foreign interests get more wealthy, and you continue to transfer your wealth out. Getting worse and worse. Only 13% of this country is made available to all the people of Canada, all First People included. They get 0.2%. The remaining 37 million Canadians get 10%. The government, first class, they get 3% of that, plus full power and control over all resources and investments into the 87% of Canada, not available to any of you. Now, they don't care because they're getting a slice of that pie. They fill their back pockets. This has been going on for the age of entirety in Canada. It only got worse after 1952 because we lost the check and balance of the crown, the royal family. We lost that check and balance that you, the people, were able to go run to. It used to all be UK. But now that crown belongs to the Prime Minister and your official oppositions. That's true. They deal against all of you. You're not in the Constitution. You are either their slaves or the savage Indian to be exploited forever and a day. That's the truth. Sure, they've created crown positions and appointments inside the Indian system, the Métis system, the Inuit system. I know there's three tiers of that. I know what they do. They give you the highest authority they can bestow on the savage Indian, all of you. And that is municipal councillor. That's as high as it goes. You're sworn to the crown, you stay in their pyramid, you get paid off while they exploit all your people. I get it. Take whatever you can get. It's the best that can be done. But there's more, folks. There's more. Right here. You can destroy the crown. You can destroy it. We don't just deal with one policy and constitutional conventions completed by the greatest legal minds in the world today, masters of every major university credited in the world, Harvard, Yale, Cambridge, Oxford. We can go on and on and on and on. Literally every continent, every country, to institutions you've never heard of. From Singapore to Baghdad, the list goes on and on. We go through Africa. We go through everywhere. We've got literally 152 of the 193 nations of the world. That's what we've been working on. It's not about electing me. I will just be the instrument for you, the people. It's just a build. It's a design. That's all it is. It's not about my power and where I'm going, because I promise you that power is given to you. The only person in Canada that would do that. The rest all want the power, the money, the full autocratic control. People are ugly, people are mean, they're disgusting. Most politicians have never worked for a living in their lives. They've had businesses, but you'll find they're attached to crown colonial politicians of the past. These people were never capable of even creating a viable business. They were given a handout, a free rein, a complete government crown protection to run a business, or they got a business, pennies on the dollar, at absolutely all of your expenses. Search your souls, you know it's all true. You know it is. Begging for a savior, begging for the next political messiah to come save you is the wrong answer. That's what Canada and so many other crown monarchies have institutionalized for a lot of years. It's been going on 950 years. Over 250 years ago today, America went through it. Americans said, you know what? We've had enough of this. And they rebelled. It was through violent means. They've had to repeat that war over and over. They've had to fight all the colonials. And there's many unitary states. Most of the world is in that design structure. There's literally only 7 countries in all 193 that come close and comparable to the United States of America. For most other countries, it's exploit, rape, pillage, and plunder. Now, Canadians can say, but Dave, we got a great life here. The crown isn't so bad. Folks, look at the size of your country. 38 million people. There should absolutely be no poverty. There should absolutely be no lower class, none whatsoever. Every Canadian should be wealthy, whether they worked or not. When you look at the mass amounts of invested resources, harvested resources from Canada, explain to me why the people are doing so bad, why there's a housing crisis. It's because only a very, very limited amount of the country is made available to you. We are much, much tinier than they lead you to believe. It's a scam. There is no other country, well, besides Australia and New Zealand, that comes comparable to what Canada is. And you see the failure in it. They can't keep it up. They keep borrowing against the lands, those crown lands. For the First Peoples title, you can kiss that goodbye if we don't finish this, if we don't settle the claims and go forward in real constitutionalism. There will never be a Turtle Island. There's never going to be a Canada divided up, unfortunately. That is the ultimate law. If you want to keep the nation of Canada, it has to remain together. Now, is there a way to separate and get distinct areas? Sure. There's a lot of work to get that done. I did present that legal path, at least for the province of Alberta. Any province could follow that. Does Alberta have probably the best edge on that? Absolutely. But the reality is, folks, we can fix Canada. We can fix it for everybody. We don't have to look at those things. It's another option. That's what we're building here, and that's what's going to come forward in 2025. Now, I said I could register this right now, but that's going to take people coming to terms with why they signed this in the first place. Because if it's all about vaccines, COVID lockdowns, and the rest of that, that's a one policy that short order is coming to an end. I can guarantee all of you this fall, with the numbers, there's not going to be any justification for any COVID narrative going forward. I already have the numbers, at least for the province of Alberta. I already know the answer to that question. I already know just by all the numbers of the other countries who've already gone through their wave because their seasons are ahead of Canada's. I already know the answer. It's called endemic. It's been endemic since December 26th, 2021. That's the truth. We're going to wait. We're going to let another wave go by, I guess. That's Canada's way. But at some point, this alt-right and this alt-left are going to have to be checkmated and said, listen, guys, there shouldn't be any vaccine passports, shouldn't be any restrictions, shouldn't be any more lockdowns, and we shouldn't even worry about vaccines anymore. Now, to each their own. You still want to do vaccines, go for it. I don't see why they'd be mandated. But again, all of this isn't going to be make it or break it policy, and that's not what this party's about. This party is about writing rules of governance, how to govern, and accountability. These are things missing in Canada forever and a day. We don't even have provincial constitutions outline our division of powers. Not one province under Section 92 has ever empowered any of those things. I have begged premiers across the board, premier candidates. Nobody seems to want to do that. So it brings me right back to this 858 signatures easily get me federal registration, easily. Even if only 1/3 of them right back in with the government, even if it's only 1/3, we'll still get party registration right across Canada, just like NDP, Liberal, and Conservatives. This is the founding membership, legal founding membership, should I submit it. I would like to go back and I'd like to get all the first people across Canada too. I'd like to do that. But I sit here and I wonder, do I register it now? Do I? I don't know. People want me to. They say that it's got to be done now. But what good is it going to be if people aren't for constitutionalism, aren't for destroying the crown? Because that's the party I've been advertising. That's the party I built. That's what I paid on my own dime to go across Canada doing. And that's what our board, our founding board of our party, wishes to see done. Constitutionalism. Rules of governance for the first time. I know it's a hard concept, Canadians. How to govern and accountability. None of those things exist in Canada except for the divinity of politicians to make it up as they go. Do whatever they like after you've elected them, because Canadians, all of you, First Peoples, if you participate, the only real rights any Canadians or First Peoples have is to elect the governing tyrants or make your own party. So I say make your own party, again, make your own party and destroy it. Give the power to you. Destroy the crown. Use the party to destroy the crown. That's what Canadians need to have happen. At least that's what I believe, and that's what I'm trying to do. Nothing to do with my power. And if you don't think that this is possible, I can show you Barbados, a lawyer who did just what I say I want to do. Barbados, she just did that. She was Governor General of Barbados. She destroyed the crown and then became president. Hosting elections, fully democratic. They're writing a constitution. Now, I say I don't want to see the government govern anything until we get constitutionalism. I say do that first. I say I'll take the budget from the previous year and repeat it. And that will stay that way with no increases nowhere, no legislation, none whatsoever, anywhere. All provinces keep your budgets in place. That's all you're going to get until the people get provincial and federal constitutionalism by the world's greatest minds, and education in town halls across all of Canada for every man and woman over the age of 18. It will go on for months, as many months as it takes, until you, the people, ratify it. 1,000 referendums in one, a price of now over $173 million. It only gets more expensive as we continue with the inflation, your failure of government. You can all change it. You can. And we can put this on the docket for 2025. That's a fact. We do need 338 MPs. We also need 338 presidents. We also need so many other positions. In fact, there's more than 6,000 positions that would have to be filled with this party. I would love to register it now. I'd love to. I'd love to give the solution for every Canadian. But are they ready? Or are they institutionalized, too far gone? Is it going to be a COVID rinse and repeat, another PPC party, another crown lunacy, lovers of the crown? We need a savior to save us? Or are people going to get to work and empower themselves to create a system of real governance, people sworn to you, the people? Supremacy of God, not a divine God. The idea that there is no man or woman that can ever be divine. That it's a higher power, whatever higher power you wish to believe. The freedom to choose that. But never allowed to put it in another human being. Not a crown position like what's in Canada now. We take the crown, we destroy the crown. We do that in 30 days from election to ascension. 30 days, folks. That's as long as it takes, and there's nothing anyone legally can do about it. That's a fact. That's a fact. You take Chief Justice, you take the entire Supreme Court, you take the entirety of the province. Not only Lieutenant Governor, but all of those positions. Sworn to Lieutenant Governors. Territorial, that's the Commissioners. Federally, they're all sworn to the Governor General. And who are they all sworn to? Prime Minister. I don't like the Canadian system. Highly autocratic. My only mission is to destroy it. To take a lesson from Hitler. Hitler, Germany. That's exactly what he did. It's what Susan did in Barbados. She did the good way. Hitler did it the evil way. But we're going to take that lesson in this design of Canada, the same design that was Nazi Germany, the same design that was Chancellor, Governor General Chancellor. It's what Hitler went for. He didn't go for Prime Minister. He went for Chancellor, the Governor General crown position. Susan did too. She did it the right way for Barbados. She did it for the people. Power to the people. Now they're getting constitutionalism. Whole bunch of Caribbeans are going that way now. They're all going to go that way. When are you going to go that way, Canada? When are you ready to say, enough? I'm tired of politicians lying to me, because they all do. Pierre is just another Trudeau. We're going to show you that in a couple of days. We're going to show you that. Now, people, it's up to you to share this video. Get it out there. This is the truth. It's the only design of its kind ever created in Canadian history. Legal, verifiable, and it's been through all the highest legal academic institutions in the world. I can bring forward 167 of the world's greatest minds to tour in every minority language in all of Canada, represented in all of Canada. The same presentation over and over to get the best out of all of you. Your ideas, you keep voting until you build your Constitution with the world's greatest minds in full history, in truth, how your ideas played out in world history, what is in treaty that we can't do, what we can do. And I promise you folks, we could be the greatest country the world's ever seen. Honor the Allies for a change. Doesn't feel like any kind of honoring of anything these days. Feels like a tyranny, an autocracy. And you know what? We're watching 50% of our wealth transferred to the first class. That's what you got in the last 18 months. And it's going throughout the Crown world. It wasn't just Canada. It's all over. Are we one of the worst? Absolutely. We can't even have children anymore. Did you know that, Canadians? You're dying. Well, there's a couple provinces, my Alberta, younger population, sure. They're still in a positive birth rate growth. But Canada-wide, we're a dying country. 1.4. You need 2.2 to grow. We're at 1.4. Folks, doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that everything you see around you today won't exist in less than 60 years. None of you as you are today will exist in your families. You'll watch it all crumble and go away. That's not a viable country. It's not a viable system. It doesn't work. Forcing immigration to colonial standards, mass immigration, because you need people to work for less to feed the wealthy elite, is not a good system. Now, it is, according to the Canadian Constitution, it says the first class are divine human beings. You must make them happy. You must make them wealthy. You must listen to them. You must do whatever they tell you. They're gods over men. And we have a whole system of oath swearers who swear that from top down. And then there's the savages, the Indians, and you, all the slaves. If you're not working for government, you're just a dirty slave.